Hey, Sully, how are you today?
Pretty good, man. It's going to be a red out for St. Joe over there at Rowan tomorrow, as per Brad Lomax on Twitter.
Well, I guess I guess that's all right. It's better than white T-shirts, I guess. You can always throw on a red sweatshirt.
There you
but,
right.
I'd rather see red sweatshirts at when it's 40 degrees outside than a bunch of kids in white T-shirts. So
yeah, I guess the weather shouldn't be too bad tomorrow, right?
No, I'm working my way over to Rowan University now, and the sun is shining. There's barely a cloud in the sky. It's already 42 degrees, so it's going to get a little bit better. So it's going to be a great day. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, that these 2 days at Rowan University over the past few years have been very good days. So no excuses for anybody to put the weather as a reason why they couldn't get something done.
Yeah, last year it was really nice. It was about probably 50, 55 degrees out there.
Yeah, it's bright and sunny. The sun is shining on us, and we're going to have a good day.
You're going to be camped out over there, huh? You going to sleep at one of the dorms or what?
No, the great part about having the games at Rowan is it's literally 5 minutes from my house.
That's true, yeah.
So I'm right there. It beats having to drive to like Kane or somewhere up, or a MetLife or something like that. So but it's the last games of the season, and these are the games that during the course of the year, coaches say, "Oh, it's only the next game on the schedule," blah blah blah. But the point is, this is what everybody's playing for, and there are only 6 games left. So why not? Why not? Pack your lunch if you need to, like I did, and get ready to spend the day over here and watch 3 games today and 3 games tomorrow.
So you got your peanut butter and jelly sandwich and your little bag of Lay's potato chips there?
Actually, I've never been a peanut butter and jelly guy, but I have my my ham and cheese, fresh from the deli, and some pita chips. I might sneak a pretzel in here or there during the course of the day or so, but we're all set. And kickoff for the first game, we're looking at about an hour and a half away, and it's going to be a good one with Delcy and Woodrow Wilson to get things started, and the rest will come. And this is the point in the season that the cream rises to the top. I think a lot of teams that are playing in these next 2 days are teams we probably thought were going to be here. Some maybe we didn't, and but it's the time that all these kids have worked for, and the time that they spend in the summertime and in that weight room that everybody talks about. The time and the dedication it takes to get to a game like this. So we got these teams, we got these games, and we will see what happens.
Yeah, it's some real intriguing matchups as well. You got a Delcy team that had to go through some adversity early in the season with forfeiting a couple of games because of an ineligible player, and they really came on strong late in the season and have been playing great in the playoffs. And obviously that Group 5 game tonight, Rancocas Valley versus Lenape, 2 of the top teams in the state going at it. And tomorrow, the 11 o'clock game, Haddonfield hasn't played a home game all year because their field's under construction. So they're kind of, rallying behind that as the Road Warriors. They're going to be taking on West Deptford, a team that's traditionally in this championship game. So definitely a lot to look forward to this weekend.
Absolutely. And we kick it off with Delcy and Wilson. And I told you, I don't know how many weeks ago, that I would not be wanting to play Delcy. And this Delcy team has, if they're listening, they didn't let me down, so to speak, because they have been playing some sensational football. They had the one game, the Cedar Creek game, that got reversed on it, and Sal Marquez, I talked to him the other day, and he brought that up, and that was a mistake, and it was a mistake that they made, a clerical mistake somehow, and it cost them a victory. I don't know if it, in the long run, it probably may have cost them a seed in the tournament, and maybe who knows? Who knows if they're here in this game? Who knows who they're playing in the final? Maybe it's somebody else if their seeding changes. So, but Delcy's a team that has been here. This is a short trip trip up the Rowan from Franklin Township. They've been here now 6 years in a row. Last year they had their 4-game winning streak snapped by Wall, and this year they're looking to get it back. And when you look at Delcy, you look at Aiden Bourget and running that, whatever Sarah wants to call it anymore. I don't even know what the heck the offense is anymore. If it's a wing T, if it's a triple option, if it's wishbone, who knows what it is anymore. But the bottom line is it is extremely effective. And, other coaches attend their practices just to watch them practice their offense. So tremendous respect for Sal Marquez around South Jersey and that Delsey program. And, he wins today. That's another title for them. That would be their 5th in 6 years, and it would be his 200th win. And, I don't know if a lot of people know it or not, but, in a story I did for the SJ Varsity earlier in the week and all, but, there's only been 2 football coaches at Delsey High School, and John
Right.
Lindbergh and Sal Marquez, and they were neighbors. Sal growing up lived next door to John Oberg.
Oh, really?
Delsey football is, everybody bleeds red, but Sal Marquez's, his red has a little bit more of a Delsey tint to it. So, for Delsey, this is a game that they look forward to every year. They've been here every year, and I think what they'll do is, as they've done in the past, they'll be marching in with their championship banners and flags from previous years by alumni to kind of get everybody all fired up a little bit more. So it's going to be a great game. I think Woodrow Wilson has a little bit of a hill to climb to beat them. I think it'll be a little bit closer than the first time they played. But I think, when you look at it, Delsey, clearly has to be the favorite going in.
And Kevin, everybody talks about the Bourget kid, and obviously he's had a record-setting season there at Delsey as a running back. But to me, the MVP of that team really is Mason Maxwell, the quarterback. He makes everything go, and people don't realize how much you have to do at that position in that particular offense in terms of, every play you're reading something. You're reading the defensive end, you're reading the middle, so many different things going on in that offense. And to have a guy who can really run it probably goes underrated and unnoticed a lot of times.
I agree with you. And the fact is that, at the end of the game, all the gaudy stats could be, the running backs and such. But, Sal has even mentioned it on numerous occasions that offense does not go unless the quarterback goes. And that quarterback has got to be he's got to be probably one of the smartest kids on the field for you. He has to be able to do all the things you had mentioned. And, I don't know what the SAT scores are of anybody else on the Delsey football team, but I got to bet that Mason Maxwell is maybe the smartest kid on that team as far as running the offense is concerned. And you've got to, like you said, he makes the final decision. And, whether he pulls that ball or he lets it go, it's all up to him. And they've been extremely successful running that offense. They seldom put the ball in the air, and they'll probably throw 2 or 3 touchdown passes now. But, it all predicates on what Mason decides what's going to happen. And obviously he's done a tremendous job doing that this year.
Talking with Kevin Minnick of SJVarsity.com. And Kevin, how has Haddonfield done it, man, to not have a home game the entire season? And it wasn't like they were world beaters during the regular season. They were a pretty good team and played a lot of tough teams. But, I don't know if I expected them to be in this final against West Deptford.
No, I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't expect them to be here either. Always a team, under Frank Delano that you kind of have to throw into the mix and put into the conversation. But, here's a program that, had some, obviously had adversity to start the season. Let's put it that way. A lot of things that they had to do leading up to in their summer camp, leading into preseason scrimmages and the first couple weeks of the season, of buses here, practices there, loading the water jugs and the whole bit. That could take its toll on some teams. But I think what Frank was able to do was tell these kids, look, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're going to do. This is what we have to do. It's going to be a normal process for us. So for them to load the bus up week after week and do these things, by now, or at least going into the playoffs, was the norm. And I don't think it was that big of a deal. But, to not have an opportunity to, have to show up maybe a half an hour later because you're playing at home, or to have an opportunity to have probably a lot more of a fan base show up to games because they didn't have to travel. Sure, that's where they kind of suffered from the consequences. But today, this playing on the road is not an issue. I think when that game rolls around tomorrow morning, they will be ready to play, and they're going to play a team that they know very well. And there'll be no secrets. Everybody knows what they're going to run. It's just a matter of executing. And another big factor when you look at Haddonfield too is the fact that they lost a lot of starters during the course of the year. Seemed like guys were going down like flies week after week. Now they're pretty much back together. They still are missing a couple of guys, but I think they very well may be the healthiest they've been all season when that game kicks off tomorrow. And, you can't ask for anything more than that given what they've gone through. So I expect, I expect another very, very close game. Haddonfield had an opportunity to beat them during the regular season, missed a couple of field goals that, I'm sure that they'd love to have back. And we'll see how it goes. I expect another game between two programs that, in all honesty, do not like each other.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's one of those rivalries that just builds up over the years, and you're in Haddonfield. You mentioned West Deptford, and you kind of get a cringe look on their face. And same with West Deptford. It
doesn't matter what sport it is, Sully. They do not like each other, and it's not a unique situation. There are plenty of other schools and rivalries in the area. Gloucester Catholic, and I'm pretty certain that Hamilton and St. Joe are in the same boat. So. Hopefully if that Hamilton and St. Joe kind of dislike for each other, they can put that on the back burner tomorrow and come out as a community and as a town and support both of their teams. I think that would make things even that much tougher on their opponents.
Kev, what do you think it'll take for Hamilton to pull off this Cinderella run as a number 6 seed to win that title? I mean, you know a lot more about Shawnee than I do. Very tough team, obviously, so Hamilton has its work cut out for it. Can they knock off Shawnee and finish out this incredible run?
I don't want to say that they can't, because who knows what's going to happen. And every coach will tell you, these are high school kids, and kids make mistakes, and from time to time things don't go your way. And, do I see Hamilton beating Shawnee tomorrow? In all honesty, I don't. But like I said, you don't know. I mean, you would hope that teams would bring their A games and everybody would be playing at the level that they should in the championship game. And if that's the case, I think Shawnee has the advantage. But if there's a mistake to be made, and a mistake is made at a crucial time, and maybe Hamilton capitalizes, who knows? If it's a close game going into the fourth quarter, anything can happen. And the thing with Shawnee is traditionally extremely strong on the lines. The quarterback this year, Colin Wetterall's done a real nice job of throwing the football. Shawnee really hasn't run the ball like they have in the past this year. They've had some injuries. Ryan Pallas has been hurt on and off all season long. I don't even know if he's going to play tomorrow or not, although, word is that he's going to try to play, and we'll see what happens there. But, they're a team that, like I said, they haven't run the ball as well as they have in the past. They've relied on the pass a lot more this year than they have, in the last couple of years. But here's a Shawnee team that's playing in I believe it's going for its third title in the last 5 years. So, they know how to get it done. And obviously Tim Gushing's been around long enough that he should have this team prepared. So, you got to give Hamilton a lot of credit for what they've done in the last couple of weeks. Personally, I've always been one to feel that when the tournament starts, you've got to be a 500 team, regardless of your schedule. If you played tough teams or you played, weak sisters or whatever, I always thought and felt you needed to be a 500 team to even get in the tournament, to even be in the conversation. Obviously, that's not the way it is. Hamilton gets in the tournament. They've won a couple of games, and here they are. So you got to give credit to them. They took advantage of their situation. They did what they needed to do to get to this point. Now, hey, there's how many other teams are sitting home today and tomorrow, and there's only 6 games going on tomorrow. There's only these next 2 days. 12 teams are left. We'll throw them out or day out. There's 11 true South Jersey teams playing football tomorrow. Where's everybody else? They're home. So Hamilton has obviously done what it needed to do to get to this point.
Great stuff, as always, Kevin. We appreciate it. We got to get over to your boy Mark Tribble, so we'll let you get going. I know you got a lot of work to do this weekend. Appreciate you taking a few minutes, and enjoy the games this weekend out at Rowan.
We will enjoy them. I hope people come out, and like Mike McGarry said, bring the quarters. I'm telling you, you got to bring the quarters. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're standing in line and it's halftime.
Good stuff, man. Good advice. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Sully. Have a great weekend.
You too, man. That was Kevin Minnick of SJVarsity.com. Always appreciate his insight into